Hello everybody, my name is Ryan and in this video I'm going to be crocheting a 1890s inspired crochet jumper. I'm going to be using DK weight yarn and a 3.5mm hook as well as a 4.25mm hook as per usual. This is what I have so far for the cuff. Now that I'm looking at it, I think I made it a little short, but I'm honestly couldn't be bothered to start over. This is like about 5.5 inches, but I think it's gonna be fine because with the way I did the shaping, like on the mini piece here, it doesn't, it's a very gradual increase after the cuff anyway, so I think it's still gonna be like form-fitting to the forearm anyways, so I think it's fine, or at least that's what I'm telling myself, because I don't want to do it over, because these little half double crochet slip stitches are kind of a pain in the butt. And this is the look of the sleeve. I made it so that it was sort of around the same size halfway up the arm because I really wanted that puff sleeve to be super dramatic, so I wanted the lower half of the sleeve to be pretty true to size. And then here's when I started increasing for the puff sleeve. This took quite a lot of yarn. I'm pretty sure each sleeve took 2 or 3 skeins of yarn, so. Hi guys, so update on this project. I'm almost done with the first sleeve and it's taking a lot more yarn than I thought it would. I've already used up 2 of these balls, so thank God I have a million of them in my stash, or else I'd have to buy more yarn, which is literally my worst nightmare. That's happened to me a million times in the last couple months, where I've gotten like halfway through a project and then I've ran out of yarn, and either they don't sell it near me or I'd have to buy it online, and I'm just like lazy and I don't like waiting, so I start a new project and it's like a whole thing. But anyway, I'm almost done with this sleeve. I'm deciding that it needs to be about 25 inches long for me personally. I have really long arms and I want the top to be slightly longer than it needs to be, because when you do the pleats at the top, it's going to shrink a tiny bit, if you know what I mean. Like the outside portion of the sleeve is going to be a little bit shorter than the inside because of the pleating. So I just want to make sure that it's long enough that it's not like pulling at the seams or anything. So yeah, I'm gonna finish up the sleeve and then I'll show you when I'm done. I pinned it up just to make sure that it fit, and I tried it on and it's going exactly where I need it to go. It's still a couple inches short, like I said, but the fit is looking really good and I can't wait until I get to do the pleating, because that's going to be my favorite part. Just look how dramatic that is. I love it. I just finished the pleats and now I'm going to pin it up again and make sure I like the placement before I cut the yarn. The lighting's kind of terrible, but you get the vibe. It fits and it looks nice. Kind of hard to stay on my shoulder unless I pin it, but definitely has that 1897 vibe. Now that I have my sleeve portion done, I'm going to start on the front part of the jumper. And obviously I'm starting at the waistline with the ribbing, and I decided to go with normal single crochet ribbing this time instead of the more complicated half double slip stitch ribbing, just because I want this to be a little more pliable, a little less like thick and sturdy, and plus this is just going to go a lot faster and I'm an impatient person. So I'm going to work that up and then I will switch to the 4.25 and start on the double crochet just like I did on the sleeve. I'm not exactly sure what shape I'm going for yet, but I will let you know when I get there. Okay, so I finished 100 rows of ribbing, and what's funny is because the single crochet is so much shorter than the double crochet, or shorter than the half double slip that I did on the sleeve, I actually had to decrease in this first row. So I went from 100 rows to 80 stitches because that should get me the number that I need. So yep, starting on this. It's probably not going to take me very long to get to where I need to be. I'm not sure if I'm going to do any underarm shaping or not. I will figure it out when I get there. So this is what I have so far for the front piece. I just did a really simple 4 stitches off, 4 stitches off for the armholes because I want the top of the jumper to be pretty narrow so that there's not a ton of room between the collar and the sleeve, just because I think that'll look better and it'll give the sleeve a tiny bit more height. Like a drop shoulder obviously would not work for this kind of puffy sleeve. So yep, that's what I got so far. I'm almost to the collar, and then I'll probably just do that off camera and show you when I'm done. And the back's pretty much going to look exactly the same. It's just going to be a little bit higher than the front, and then I'll make a second sleeve and I'll be done. So I finished the front piece last night, and this is the neckline that I ended up going with. I wanted like a nice deep, this will be round obviously once I do the ribbing for the collar, and I wanted a nice small shoulder just so that the puff sleeve wouldn't be like falling off. I wanted it to be really up against the shoulder. And yeah, and now I've started on the back panel. This ribbing is kind of kicking my butt, but I do think it looks really nice, so I guess I'll put up with it. And yeah, the only difference between the front and the back is the back is going to be much higher without this. Probably going to be like, probably right here, just because I want a tiny bit of neckline, but not a lot, so it's probably going to come up to like right here, and then I will do the second sleeve. So I was working on the back and I realized that I totally messed up, because you know how I was saying the back is supposed to be higher than the front piece, and I was so hyper fixated on finishing this that I just totally forgot. And so now I gotta rip this out because it's actually supposed to be like this tall, which means I have to add like 4 or 6 more rows before I add this tiny little bit of the shoulder here. So yay, now I get to rip that out and redo it. It's so much fun. Now that I have all the pieces made, I'm going to seam up the shoulders and the sides, just because I want to try to put one of the sleeves in just so I can see how it looks. I think it would be a waste to make a second sleeve if I didn't end up liking how it looks, so I might have to change some things. So yeah, I'm just gonna seam that up and then I'll ease in the sleeve and see how it looks. So I pinned the sleeve in, and I think I may have made the arm side a little big. I hesitate to sew it in, but I think I'm just gonna do it, and if it doesn't work I can reevaluate. But yeah, so that's what it's looking like, and now I'm gonna sew it in. You won't be able to tell, but this clip was actually filmed like 6 months or something after the last clips. So yeah, I made a second sleeve and I sewed them in, and I liked the fit, and so I just decided to do my regular collar, which is just 3 rounds of front post, back post, double crochet. And here are the final results. I'm actually very happy with how it turned out. I don't know how much use I'm going to get actually wearing it, but I do really like the look, and it was really fun to make.